Today it is Tea with Monty. Thank you for joining me. We have a few questions here. I cannot answer all the questions. This would take way too long, but let's get right into the questions. Let's do it right now. The first question comes from Patrick. It says, how long does it take me to make a guitar if I wasn't showing the process step by step? Actually, Patrick, it would probably take me somewhere in the vicinity of a week to a week and a half unfinished. That is just assembled, put together, sanded down, the bridge on, everything glued in place, about a week to a week and a half. Now, Crystal, she wants to know if I make guitars for women, and the answer is yes. And what would they look like? Well, I'll take out the humidifier here. And it would look a lot like this. This is a Martin size 2 guitar. It's a small body. This is 12 inches across here as opposed to the 15 inches that runs across this body. And consequently, it has a different sound to it because it's a smaller guitar, but it certainly sounds great, and it has sustain on it that, listen, it's still going. Still going. I can still hear it. Anyway, it's pretty good. It's called a Martin size 2, and you can see that even on their website. Now, Jonathan asked me to explain what is meant by lower or higher action on strings. The strings on this guitar are fairly low action, which would be good for finger picking or doing something like that. The higher action strings are higher off the fretboard, and you get that by taking this area down to lower your action or raising it up, maybe putting a shim under it or a whole different saddle going in there. So, and that would lift the strings up higher. The reason you would have them higher, you may be using a flat pick and picking like this, but if you're doing this kind of thing and you're working away with your fingers, you really want the action a little lower. And people prefer lower action, and most of them have no idea what that even means, but there you go. David says, is the guitar that I'm building in the video, the one you've been watching me do, the only guitar that I'm building right now, or do I build more than one, and are we just currently following the one guitar? Right now we're following the one guitar. I have built, David, as many as 5 guitars at one time, and I found that to become very stressful. In the beginning, I thought it would be easy to make 5 necks, 5 sides, 5 backs and tops and all of that, but honestly, it became a bit of a nightmare, and logistically, it wasn't the best at all. Are any of my, David also wants to know if any of my guitars are being used professionally. Andy's a professional guitarist. And yes, he has a couple of my guitars. There's a couple of others that are used every week on a platform, and they're used professionally, I would say. Now, do I have any big name people playing my guitars? No, I don't. Tommy Emmanuel hasn't dropped by yet, but one day when he shows up, I'll let him play one of my guitars. Actually, he's coming here in March, I understand. Now, Frank wants to know about the size of the hole and does it affect the sound of the guitar? The answer to that is yes and no. This is a smaller hole than the hole that is on this guitar. This one is bigger than this one. And you have to understand that a guitar is basically a drum. And when you pound on the guitar, you can hear that bass. Now, this is touching the wood here, so you're not going, or the cabinet, you're not going to get what I want to actually show you this. But the whole sound area of the guitar is basically down in here, and it's the top moving back and forth and the back moving. The whole guitar, when I do this, and I just hit this and I form a chord, I can feel the sides, I can feel the top, and I can feel the back here all vibrating all at the same time, because this thing is constantly in motion. When you hit the strings and it picks it up, and it works that way. Now, If the hole is smaller, that means you have a bigger area in here. If the hole is bigger, you have a smaller area here. A bigger area gives you a deeper sounding guitar, from what I understand and from what I've experienced, more bass. So if I make it smaller, I usually get more boom out of the guitar, more boom boom. If I make it too big, it becomes more trebly. And so the key with that, along with the different kinds of wood that you use, most of it is a Sitka top on most guitars, the spruce. Some of it is mahogany, some of it is koa, some of it is cedar, and there's, you know, it could be all kinds of different kinds of woods, I suppose, but this is a spruce top. That's why you get the sound that you get out of this. All right. Now, the last question I can address today, and I'm sorry I can't do more, but these videos would go very long if I did. My guitar has some cracks in it. Is it ruined? The answer is no. If you ever saw Willie Nelson and his guitar, it's got holes in here. It's an absolute mess, and he's done quite well with that guitar. No, you should repair cracks. Take it to your music store and go down into their basement or wherever they have their repair center and get them to repair it. Usually it's done with some crazy glue and some lacquer, and they fix it all up, and it will never come apart again if they use that kind of glue. But having said that, it aesthetically looks better if there are no cracks in the guitar. It won't affect the sound per se or the tone of the guitar. It just doesn't do that. All right, that's it for me, guys. I've got to ask you at this point if you would mind subscribing. Just hit that button down here on the subscribe side. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. If you want more questions, answers, send me your questions and I'll answer them even in the video as we're going along and building. We don't have to wait for tea for Monty or with Monty. Let's just do it whenever we can. That works too. But honestly, it's a dull, gray, rainy day here. Not much fun going on outside. That's why inside here we have a delicious, wonderful, warm, soothing cup of English breakfast tea. This is decaf. Oh man, there is nothing like this in the world. I don't know why people drink alcohol when they could be drinking English breakfast tea. I think you get even a bigger kick out of it. Do consider subscribing, as I mentioned. Do pass these videos along to your other friends. And by all means, let's get together again. Bye for now.